Hey, so I'm walking around Salt Lake City. There's the temple. And I had an interesting couple of conversations, and I'm not really sure what to think about them. And I'd rather spend my time talking about them than being in my head thinking about trying to figure them out or whatever. Because that never works. And I talked to a homeless guy a couple minutes ago, maybe half an hour ago. And we talked for maybe half an hour. I'm asking about his life and sleeping on the streets, and he's telling me about the homeless shelter that closed down in Salt Lake City. There's like 1,100 beds, and they moved to different ones that are like 200 beds south, 30 miles south of the city or something. I don't know. Definitely not like helping them, but I'm having this conversation, and what I realized, or like what he talked about, was that society is a bunch of assholes, and we talked about he's a God-fearing man. He's spreading the word of God, and and that to him looks like Jesus came to love people, which makes sense to me. I mean, the only two commandments left are love your father, love your God, love your as yourself, and love people. And then this guy talks about how people are a bunch of assholes. And he also tells me about how he just blanked. Oh, how he likes his life better on the street. Right? Something clicked for me. I was like, his life is perfect. It's exactly how he wants it. He told me that he didn't want to be working 50 hours a week in order to make some money, in order to put four walls around him. He'd rather just, be on the street, and it's like, I said, that sounds like a big commitment. That sounds like a big commitment to life, right? To experiencing life, to, I don't know, not getting enslaved, I think, is maybe the kind of the story that was going on in his head. Taking a job is then you make some money to get some walls, a house, or a place to stay, so you can make some more money, so you can get a place to stay, and you never really get to live beyond that, so it's understandable why he doesn't have a job. And he told me he's happier, he's more content, he's his life is better not having a job. It's like, well, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. If that's your viewpoint on life or on work, is it enslaves you, or whatever it was. But the thing that also got me was that, he would talk about people are assholes, and I'm not going to disagree with him because he thinks so. But you're talking about he went to prison, he's been on the street for 20 years. And then he told me about his kids, and I was like, I said, do you talk to your kids? He's like, no, I don't talk to my kids. They wouldn't want to talk to me. They're grown up. How old are they? 30? I'm 30. 31. But I'm 30, And he's like, well, would you want your dad to come talk to you after 20 years of being in prison and, being on drugs and being homeless? And I just said, yeah, I would. I really, really would. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, I really would. And he said I was going to make him cry, and he walked maybe a block, or not a block, half a block, I don't know. Turn around, I think he was crying. Then as he was walking back, he told me that he was going to ask me to leave. And then we had this little exchange of words, but I was just kind of curious about what was going on, what was that about? And he's like, get out of my, said, I need you to leave. You brought up some bad memories for me. You brought up some bad thoughts. God, I wish I knew what those thoughts had been. And I'm guessing it's something like, I mean, it's all hypothetical, but it's something like, I miss my children. And I'm too much of an asshole. I'm too fucked up. I'm too broken. I did something. I hurt somebody. I did this. Some kind of self-blame or something. I don't know. I don't know the thoughts. All I know is that he said they were bad thoughts. He yelled at me for a little bit about how I need to leave. Get the fuck out of here. You're in my space. And his wife came over and stood between us and told him she's like, sir, I need you to leave. And it's like, okay, I can't. Sorry, man. Have a great day, man. So he's mad. He's got a little snot running down his nose. Telling me I need to leave, and eventually it's like, okay, I get it. Turned and walked away. And I told him I appreciate our conversation. And he's like, and it was funny because mid-conversation, he's like, you need to get the fuck out of here. I was like, I appreciate our conversation. He's like, I appreciate it too, and you need to leave. And he had also talked about how, I told him at some point I saw him to be a really loving person. He's like, yeah, I really just love people and want to contribute and care about them. And but everyone's society's a bunch of assholes. And I'm really struggling right now. I'm struggling with the idea that his life is exactly where he wants it to be. I'm not prone or desiring to sleep on the streets in Salt Lake City. It's not even night and it's 30 degrees. He's got new tents, new blanket. It's all set up. But it's feeling of man, you can be right or you can be loved. And as he's yelling at me, well, not yelling, just I don't know. Why would this society want to be with somebody who says they're all assholes? And why would he want to be with people they call him a drunk, a drug addict, homeless, And we got these labels for each other. And it's you can be right about this, man. You can be right that your children don't want to see you because of something you did. Or you can call them, talk to them, apologize, tell them you feel like a bad father, or tell them you feel like a bad person, or tell you how horribly you've been treating yourself. Oh my God, I had a friend the other night call me after I left a message, a week before. So a week later he calls me and he tells me oh, I had just stuff going on. And it's dude, I don't want to know about that. I don't want to know about this this stuff going on. It's just, that's all there is. I want to know the fucking stuff. I want to know the oh yeah. And I was telling myself that I was a piece of shit the whole time. I was depressed out of my mind. I was frustrated and mad. I was trying to make something. I don't know what it was, but I wanted to know the truth. And it was kind of this feeling of I don't know you. And it's with that guy, I'm just thinking about how, his kids don't know him. And not it's a blame thing, but because there's these thoughts and beliefs that I think he has about himself that he doesn't measure up to or doesn't. Oh, that's cool. A little fountain that just took off. But yeah, the whole point of that is that, you know, he can be right that his children don't want to talk to him. And, you know, when you're in that mindset, the only alternative is they do want to talk to you. It's like they do or they don't. And I've lived in that, and I live in that a lot. And my mindset's always kind of been like, people don't want to hang out with me, and I got to do something to get people to want to hang out with me. And I do a bunch of weird stuff rather than sharing. Like, people don't actually get me of like when I'm scared, when I don't know what to do, when I'm frustrated, when I'm whatever it may be. And so with this guy, he nobody knows him. Nobody knows him. I couldn't get to know him. Not really. You know, as soon as these thoughts came up, conversation's over. You know, and I dated somebody recently that felt kind of similar, and I've done this, and I realized I do this with people myself, where it's like these expectations we put on ourselves have got to be somebody. Can't be broken, can't be sad, it's not okay, can't be hurt, can't be vulnerable, can't be authentic, can't be honest. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to live up to something. Then everybody's a bunch of assholes. Selfish, mean, got these labels. I don't think there's a single fucking person in this planet that would call themselves any of those things. Not like on a deep core level. Maybe because, you know, maybe it's kind of like I kind of picture like we have a name tag of like who we really are, and then we cover it with things like, you know, asshole or selfish or mean. And, you know, mine was that it was like my fault. I spent most of my life trying to prove things weren't my fault. When it's like I'm really committed to family. What does fault have to do with commitment to family? I'm also feeling just super helpless that I couldn't make a difference in that guy's life. You know, that guy, maybe it did, maybe I did, maybe it didn't, maybe it doesn't matter if I did or not. Maybe that's this part of it is like, you know, his life is perfect exactly how it was. He got exactly what he wanted, you know. It's like he'd rather want to be homeless and not have his relationship with his children than be vulnerable, I think. You know, I feel I would have known more if he had shared with me those bad thoughts he was talking about. I feel like I need to do something about it. Which has always been kind of my thing, is like I gotta fix it, I gotta make it better. I think I just went in wrong building. It's like you don't need to fix it. You know, it's like, but I want him to feel connected to people. I want him to have his relationship with his children. But he doesn't want that. That's what he do. And, you know, I mean, you just kind of give him the love that he's looking for, give people the love they're looking for, and that's what you can do. And what I'm seeing a little bit is, like, be authentic and vulnerable in a way that lets people share their authenticities and vulnerabilities. I'm feeling a little alone right now. Came to Salt Lake. I'm going to be with friends for a few days out in the mountains. there's a whole idea of how this is going to turn out. I think it's going to be amazing. Knowing these people, I'm confident it will be. And I'm walking around downtown by myself. And I could call that lonely. And earlier I thought about it as like I'm committed to friendship. So I'm going to go make some friends. I made some friends. I talked to a few homeless people. It turns out they're super easy to become friends with. And I'm also not by myself. And that's okay. But it's not what I wanted in life. You know, I want groups of friends, people to go together, people to like come with me, people to just, you know, like, okay, hey, I feel like I hear that you think everyone's an asshole. Like, let's go party. Let's go have fun. Let's go connect. Let's go do an adventure. Let's go. You know, your stories aren't wrong, and they're also like great. Do them and keep them, and I don't know. I'm hurting right now. You know, I've had so many expectations about how life is supposed to be. And what's funny is just as that guy created exactly the life that he wanted because of his viewpoint about things, so have I. You know, I spent my whole life, well, it's better to be alone than to hurt people. And I felt like I've always been somebody that hurt people. Like, shit. This guy's yelling at me, like, to get the fuck out of here. Because I told him about children, I don't know, and I usually take it personally. Like, I take a lot of things personally. It's not working so well for me, so I just don't, it's just an unknown. It's an unknown for me to go around and say, hey, I'm committed to friendship. I'm committed to making friends tonight. Like, will you hang out with me? I'm committed to a romantic relationship. Will you go on a date with me? I'm committed to just getting to know people. Right? Like, there's such a fine balance between, like, the thing you're doing of making friends and commitment, like, being attached to certain friends in a certain way. Like, for example, I've been attached to you, I have to not be alone. So, I guess what I'm seeing is, I don't know, I'm gonna allow it to be okay to be alone tonight. Spend the evening by myself. I do that anyways, but normally it's not okay. Normally I'm hating myself because I couldn't find a way to make friends, or I don't have people that want to hang out with me, even though everyone, you know, people are so committed to huge things in life that it's like, how can I expect them to all come around and make me feel good? I don't know, I feel like I'm supposed to end this with some like inspirational word or some shit like that, but I got nothing. There's a cool fountain. That's what I got. Check that out. I think it below, there it goes. Shit. I don't know. Grateful for you listening. Grateful for you being here, hanging out at this fountain with me. Nervous recording this video. Nervous that people are gonna think of me a certain way or think I'm weird, staring into the camera too long, making me uncomfortable. Ugh. So, I'm gonna go. This fountain is dope. And, thank you. Thanks for being here.